John here again with Jensen Holistic Health, doing a series on my grandfather's books, over 50 books and booklets, here on his ranch. We're down by the goats, and behind me, I actually can't see it, but down below is where his main ranch was. This book is Be Well, Be Wise, with bee pollen, bee propolis, and royal jelly. This was Dr. Jensen's Health Handbook number 5. Number 10 was the colostrum, and we just went over that. This is the ultimate in nutritional excellence, a whole food for the whole body, one of the greatest correctional foods to change the integrity of cell structure for better health, by Bernard Jensen. And again, this was self-published. He self-published a lot of his books, published them down in Escondido, different printing places. This one was copyrighted in 1994, this first edition. His dedication on this was dedicated to all the workers in life, human or animal. The bees are the greatest life workers of any community I've ever studied in nature. Without the bee colony, man's structure would collapse. To be a busy bee in human endeavors can also keep us from collapsing. It is to the humble bee that I dedicate this book, for it has done so much for me and my patients. He talks about in the back how he used honey for his patients. And then he also mentions, when I visited the Caucasus mountain people in Russia, and Dr. Jensen says, I found all the oldest men in the area had been beekeepers and used raw honey and hive scrapings as a regular part of their diet. And he said that this one person that he interviewed lived to 157 years old, and he was one of the beekeepers that he interviewed there. There's a lot about bee pollen in here, what's in bee pollen. He talks about, of course, allergies, bee pollen, where does it come from, and talks about inflammation, allergies, and arthritis, and how they can actually be helped through the bee pollen. How bee pollen helps build blood and support the glands. Degenerative disease and radiation side effects. Talks about the different research and stuff that's going on with cancer and bee pollen. Using bee pollen in weight management. And propolis, royal jelly, and honey. And he talked a lot about the propolis in here. And here he is. He did a lot of black and white pictures. It was expensive to do. And here's Dr. Jensen many years ago tending to his hives. I don't know if you can see that. He looks pretty young in that. I would maybe even say that's way back in his ranch in Los Angeles. Doesn't say here. Oh, here's some color pictures. There's him. With the bees and the bee pollen. Here he is later on with the squash. And actually, looks like this could be the Hippocrates circle, which is right down below here. Which I'll be filming some more there too. Been filming with Gavin Tucker from Live Peer Kids. It's been a lot of fun having him come out. The pollen power and athletes. Talks about how it's helped athletes. It's very interesting. I mean, you can write a whole book on bee and honey and bee pollen. And actually, it's interesting because most of his books are full of stuff like slant board, skin brushing, things like that along with it. But this one actually, just about the whole book is, except for pictures and stuff, is about bee pollen and honey. So, interesting. So Dr. Jensen's Health Handbook number 5, Be Well, Be Wise, one of his books on honey and bee pollen. All right. Well, hope you're enjoying the series and a little bit about the books. I'll be doing all 50 books and booklets, and hope you're having a great day. Thank you for watching.